It is important to remember and learn your history, or you are bound to repeat it. Stay tuned for this one, everybody. Movie producer and director in the building. Welcome everyone to Your Little Castle Show. We do get to have some fantabulous, famous people in the building. My friend Tony has done something rather revolutionary. He has produced one movie already and is in the midst of a second movie. First one, My Irish.
Well, I've actually produced two documentaries already. One was called Rednecks and Culchies.
Okay.
And that was about addiction and drugs in the workplace in America, which was a really big hit at the time and pretty successful in America, more successful here than in my own home country, which is Ireland. And then I did make another documentary. It's called My Ireland. It's about the stuff that's going on in Ireland. That was made a couple of years back, and Ireland has changed a lot since then, which was I thought was at a pedestal for how bad it could get that time, but now it seems to have gone to a new frontier altogether. I mean, we have a beautiful country, beautiful people, beautiful scenery. Everything is beautiful in it. Like, the people are friendly, and everybody that goes there loves it. So I'm not just saying that because I'm from Ireland. And to me, it's a place that you know, it's a great place to come and see. But at the last 7 to 8 years, our country has started changing for the worse. We have, our leaders over there has changed our whole, they've tried to change the whole concept of Ireland, which is really bad because we were a country of a lot of immigration. We always had immigration in Ireland, which is bad, which my Ireland was made, that's what my Ireland was based upon, was people having to leave their own beautiful country to find work somewhere else in the world. So we sort of accepted that, and which was not a good thing to accept, but that's just the way it was. When I left Ireland, I left home at 15, and I, like a lot of guys in the west of Ireland and most of Ireland, a lot of immigration was pretty big. If you didn't come from you know, if you didn't have any money to go on to further education, it was an escape route, and it was a little bit of money to send home to your family if you worked away. We used to go work in England as immigrants. We'd go over there and we'd work on the farms. Like, I went there first when I was 15. I worked on a farm. I was like picking potatoes, and it was rough going, like at 15, and we didn't have great facilities to live. We lived like in an old shed. Couldn't an outside bathroom, couldn't once you got in, if it was raining, you couldn't get out of the house because you had to walk to the bathroom outside. It was something
they
like
called that an outhouse back in the day.
An outhouse is right, yeah. And it was
We've had those in America too.
It was like the Wild West, really. But when you're young and come from the west of Ireland, you didn't really. That's when you look back and you tell people about this. They say this can't be real because I'm not from the 1800s. I'm from a new era in Ireland. I'm from the new young Irish. I'd like to call myself that anyways, but this is how it was when we left, and it was like the Wild West.
Okay, well, let's talk a little bit about the background here, because that previous film, My Ireland, did win a number of awards too. Is that true?
Yeah, My Ireland done very well on the film circuit. We won like 7 or 8 major awards, and we won 1 or 2 in England, which was really good press, you know, in the big film festivals. And we done really good for a guy that never had any training, never got any, and actually never went to school, only for 4 years ever. But anyways, me and my friends put this movie together, and we got
Let's share a little bit of that on the screen here for everybody. I can pull that one up. So this is a clip from.
This is a clip from My Ireland.
I will put this on the wall for everybody. You can tell us what's going on here. They won't be able to hear it, but you tell us what the discussion is here.
This is a friend of mine here, and he's a fisherman, and he's telling how the EC has taken all our fishing rights away from us, and the boats are all in the harbour, which they should be out at sea. And he's a neighbour of mine home and a friend for a long time. His name is Patrick Hawley, and it's a beautiful place, as you can see, but the fishing boats are idle because the EC has decided to bring in the big trawlers from further out and catch all the fish and leave these boats vulnerable because they can't compete with the big boats. And that's our government again for you. Our government has sold us out so many times. Now, in the real world, the Irish press and the Irish media do present themselves beautifully to America. They say that they're the cream of the crop, that they love the Americans coming there, and they probably love their money, and they love, but now they don't really need the Americans. We have a new people coming to our country. They have taken everybody in from every third world country all over the world, from no passports, no status. They put them up in fancy hotels. Nobody can afford a hotel in Dublin or in Galway or in a lot of places in Ireland now because these people have taken the hotels over. The government has made a deal with all these franchises with the immigrants. Bring them in and we'll give you a backhander. I guess that's how it worked. Brown envelopes, they call it over there. So the brown envelopes are what's sort of running Ireland now. It's like a banana republic.
So your film is really about the fact that the history of the world has had migration issues around the world, depending on where the crisis were.
Of course.
On the government that was in power and how they treated their citizens and the resources that were allowed and the resources that were there that were squandered.
Yeah.
And just kind of how many times have we seen dictators in the history of our world that just caused those migrations because that's why people fled Europe was to come to America, right? My family is part of that heritage and those who did that. And so you're saying there's another similar migration from the countries that these people are having. They're struggling to live in the countries they're in now, and they're coming to Ireland, and it's caused an influx and caused some structural.
Ireland is not really set up for taking loads of people in, because for a start off,
relatively small.
We have a shortage of houses for the young Irish. They have to leave and go away and work abroad, and they can't afford to buy a house in their own country. And now they're competing with people who's living in hotels, living for free, eating for free, free transport, you name it, they get everything. So the young Irish can't compete with them. Now they're pretty smart and they get well educated, but still that doesn't pay the bills. So most of them have to go out to Australia, New Zealand, wherever they can find, like all our good doctors and all our good nurses seem to go to Australia or New Zealand to find work, which means then that we get a shortage of doctors in our own country. Irish trained doctors and nurses, and it's like that with a lot of the stuff. So it's a bit of a dilemma. You're bringing people in that's not from our culture, which bring their own problems with them. They're not going to adapt to our culture, which I don't expect them to. But then we're stuck with how to handle these people, and it's a big money business. Our government turns a blind eye. Our government actually invited everybody in 7 different languages. They invited everybody to come into Ireland, free place, free this, free everything, free everything.
So your argument is that the resources are simply just not there.
They're not there
and
for
causing the natives of Ireland,
they're getting resentful, and I don't blame them.
Centuries of.
We've been fighting for 700 years for our country,
and now
we're fighting with the English, and now it's like, what are we going to do? We're going to hand everything over to these people. All the great martyrs have died, like on hunger strike. We had even from my hometown, we had Frank Stagg, we had Michael Gaughan, we had like not so long ago as the Bobby Sands situation happened. All these men died for our country, not to give it away to the people coming in from third world countries, and our own people have.
Yeah, well, and I say so. It is a bigger. I like to look at it as we're all on this little planet.
Yes,
we have one planet that we know that we're habitable. I give it up for Elon. He's working on trying to make it to where we can inhabit Mars. I think that's a little down the road. I've done a little research along those lines. Mars is much less habitable than planet Earth. I think we should spend our time and energy here. But you do have still we're close to 8 billion people on this planet at this point. How do you properly manage? It seems the issue is other countries.
The way I look at it is the way Irish people have been treated over the last. We've done all the fighting in America in the Civil War. We've done all the fighting. We've always been on the front line. We've been the cannon fodder. Ireland doesn't owe the world anything. The world owe us something. We don't owe anything to the world or the EU. We've done all the hard lifting in the world. For Europe anyway. We built all these countries up. We don't owe nothing to any country for let anybody in. If we want anybody to come into our country, We want Irish Americans, we want Irish English, we want Irish Australians, Irish New Zealand people.
Well, is it fair to say that ultimately it doesn't have much to do with the cultural background specifically? You want people that will contribute.
We want people who
will actually
will work.
Work, of course, and then become resources for the country.
Yeah, it's great if you
help that, because you do have people, and we deal with this in America many times too.
Yeah.
And you're saying the problem over there you think is much worse than it is here in America. And again, back to the people who they don't want to work. Is the opportunity there?
Well,
is there work for people and they still don't want to work when they could work?
Why would you work when you don't have to? Because they're brought in and they're giving them everything. They don't need them to work.
In the wrong
it looks like they want to change our culture and our religion. They don't want the Catholics to be. They don't want God used in the word anymore. They want to change everything. We didn't elect our small town officials, our TDs and our councillors, to not acknowledge us, and they're getting, most of our councillors and they call them like local officials, they get like 100 grand a year, free car, free everything, and they promise you the moon, and as soon as they've gotten in, now we always had bad situations, but now it's going from bad to worse. These people seem to be like caught up in that Stockholm syndrome. They tell the people everything is great, everything is beautiful, and some of these small towns, some mornings they wake up, there's 300 fighting strong men living next door to them in a hotel they've rented. Now these are not refugees from war. These are big strong men. They should be living in their own country. They should be fighting their own wars. They're not from...
well, and I get it, I understand. So we do have a kind of a global dilemma. As somebody who studies a little bit of the history, but also the economics, socioeconomics on our little planet. Thanks to my background from St. Louis University, they taught us some of this to contemplate this. But literally, back to there's a globe. It's not just an Ireland issue. It's a global issue. What is it you think that why are these people leaving these other countries to come to Ireland?
Well, if they got the accommodation that I got when I went to England first, into like a shed, like myself and 10 more guys, no bathrooms, no showers, no nothing, barely a heating system in it, I guarantee they wouldn't be coming to Ireland. But if you get everything for free, it's like a holiday. They get the gym free, they get their hotels free, they get the first choice of housing.
Permanent vacation.
Permanent vacation, yeah. So
that's unsustainable. Many people would argue.
Yes.
Get into the technology that's just down the road.
It's not going to last.
There might be the day when Elon's working on his robots, and every robot will take care of everything, so that none of us have to actually do any work. But believe me, I've wanted.
It ain't going to last. No, but
you see my shirt I've got on here today, everybody. Rub some dirt on it, which is code for stop crying, get up and do something about it. And you've got an easy fix, put some dirt on it and carry on. Whereas many people, I find that they are very unsettled in their life, and if they would just decide to make an effort to contribute, they then will be happy, because now because we're all built with, I think, an innate sense that if we help to contribute, we help to build, we help to improve things, we by nature feel better about ourselves.
Yes.
So it's a psychological effect that very often is kind of just overlooked. And it seems there are some people on this planet, I'm not naming any names, I don't know the specifics, we kind of have our theories about what it is, but they want people to be dependent on others for the sake of control.
They have made the young Irish desperate. They have made them vulnerable. First they told them they were the smartest people ever, they were the best educated, they were the best behaved. So they got that Stockholm syndrome going on. The Irish they're afraid to speak out. They think that, well, if I speak out, I'll look bad in my community. But
we did go through a period recently, in kind of a global thing, but especially here in the United States, where we had to be very. I personally dealt with some stuff with regard to some of my social media that all of a sudden I was just sharing information.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden my account gone.
Yes.
And I was like I was sharing things on both sides. I'm trying to be all encompassing and just give the perspective to share. People but you're dealing with an issue over in Ireland specifically. So this new movie is called.
Well, this new movie we're going to make, and it's
Our Day Will Come.
It's Our Day Will Come. It's called Chucky on Loyal. It means Our Day Will Come, and we're trying to, in the process of making that this year. If we can get a little bit more help from Irish people, which so far I put my own back to the wall. I produced and directed all those movies myself, just to show where I come from. Ireland is a story that everybody should watch, because it's a story of an immigrant leaving, and there is no sunshine. And most of the young Irish, or old Irish, they were embarrassed to talk about where they lived and the conditions they lived. But they ain't great place. For you leave your home country, there's no one cares about you. You're vulnerable, especially as young adults. They say it's, you know, and how many does be successful? Very few, 1 out of 100 maybe, that will come back and
that's
tell
part
the
of what
truth.
we do. I want to talk more about this movie specifically, the second half of the show. We're going to share with everybody a little bit of what we've done in the community recently, because we are working with a number of organizations. But my buddy Will, he's been doing a lot of fun stuff to make a difference on our little planet. So enjoy this quick little clip from my friend Will. Will Bates, everybody. Will Be Inspired. Tell me about the event you got going on here.
Oh, we got a golf tournament today. Got some people coming out to support our military veterans and first responders. Everything that we raise today goes towards benefiting them, mental and physical health, overall wellness, wellness retreats, outdoor retreats, gym memberships. You think of it, you name it. That's what we do. So this is all to benefit them. I appreciate everybody coming out and taking action. Thank you.
We're at Old Hickory Golf Course. Been here for a number of events. Great crowd here.
Yeah.
How many people turn out for this thing so far?
There'll be at least 170 people here.
170 golfers, everybody. All right, if they need the Cardinal Cowboy to give out some free golf lessons, I might be doing that later. Don't wait for that. Don't wait for that.
Yeah,
It's
I
not worth it.
appreciate you.
All right, man. Thank you.
All right, thank you.
Giddy up. We'll see you guys. Giddy up.
His name is Carter Rethwich, but in St. Louis, he's known as the Cardinal Cowboy. He's a well-known fixture in the stands at sporting events in the Gateway City. He's one of its greatest cheerleaders, a super fan like no other. When he makes his rounds at almost every home game, he shares his love for sports with the rest of fandom with a smile, a cheer, some positive encouragement, and lots and lots of selfies and pics. But the Cardinal Cowboy was born of a tragic incident. Rethwich was an aspiring athlete in high school and college. He dreamed of playing in the big leagues, but those dreams ended when he and 3 of his college friends were hit with a devastating crash by a 5-time drunk driver. One of his best friends died. Carter suffered a critical head injury. The trauma put him in a coma for 6 days. The doctors said he was never expected to function again. Those expectations never came true. He fought back and finished college. He was determined to prove the doctors wrong. Among other inspirations, it was his love of baseball that kept him going. And from his near-death experience, the Cardinal Cowboy emerged. His goal in life became to inspire others with positivity despite the odds, to help people believe in themselves and achieve their dreams.
So after my coma, I realized that it was up to me if I was going to accomplish my goals, if I was going to reach my dreams. Despite what the naysayers would say, the people that were discouraging me, like they do everyone, it's up to me if I'm going to make it. Don't listen to the naysayers. It's up to you. You decide whether you're going to succeed, whether you're going to reach your goals. Dream, and then always, always chase your dreams. Never give up. Giddy up. Hey everybody, Cardinal Cowboy here. I want to invite all of you to be part of my new team. No, you don't have to put on a baseball uniform and be a super fan. Now, it would be a good idea to cheer for the Cardinals, the greatest team in the history of the National League. But I'm talking about the Gold Cowboy team. You know, I love to help people follow their dreams and reach their goals in business and in life. So that's one of the reasons why I'm telling you about my friends at My Metal Pro. They help people like you and I acquire gold and silver with a membership that lets you safely buy, sell, and store gold and silver. They make it real easy to get started. My Metal Pro isn't like the big guys you see on network TV or the big coin shops that take a huge commission. So become part of my Gold Cowboy team. Scan the QR code or go to goldcowboy.com and check it out. Giddy up! There we go, everybody. So we are always looking to have some kind of an impact on our community and share with people what is going on in our little world, because there is so much that we impact just by sharing the good word about what is going on that affects us. I mean, there's so much that we kind of overlook. There's a lot we don't want to pay attention to. It's difficult sometimes. We all have our own problems, much less, and those are affected by the big things that go on our planet. But back to, we are one big planet, one little planet, and we've got to figure these things out. Part of my emphasis is always the fact that so many people look for the shortcut. We talk about that all the time. I say, the easy route. Being cheap gets expensive. Taking a shortcut gets expensive. That's true in life as well. Would you agree? And so often it looks like some of the leaders don't understand that these shortcuts they're taking end up causing much bigger problems.
Well, our leaders seem to have no common sense whatsoever. Because for a start off, if you got a couple of kids in your house and you can't feed your own kids, and the next year you're trying to feed the neighbour's kids down the road, that doesn't look good. You have to sort of take care of your own first, and if there's a little bit left over, then help the neighbours, help the friends, and that's how the world really works. But inviting people in who you don't know who they are, no passports, no, they could be criminals, they could be saints, there's no checkpoints on them, and they land in Ireland, and the people are nice there, and they're vulnerable, the people. We're not used to this. We didn't grow up like to watch our back. Our kids are in nice neighbourhoods, people are friendly, so we don't know who's among us at the moment. And I blame our politicians. I blame from our small town politicians to our leaders. First it started off with one or two. First it was Enda Kinney. He started the ball rolling. Then he handed the throne then to Leo Varadkar. Now they fire Leo Varadkar, and they're going to say then what? Oh, it was Leo's that done all this. No, it was Leo. Well, they got him to bring the crowd so far along, and now they pushed him out. And now we got two more clowns running the show. And actually, they used to be against each other. How they reconciled together, the two parties, which I've never heard of before in Ireland anyways. The two parties have joined forces so they can all work, steal off the same plate. So now they've got the Irish in a vulnerable situation, and they're making, there's a lot of people starting to stand up now. I spoke about this 8 years ago, where it was going. And I'm not a fortune teller, I'm not a Nostradamus, but I can tell you where Ireland's going to go if we don't stop this immigration and get work for the Irish people to live in Ireland. Not saying to every Irish young kid, well, you got to go to Australia to earn the money. You got to go to America. You got to go to New Zealand. Them days are over.
Yeah, well, that's I say back to what's the source of the problem? What is lacking in the places that they're living, where they're coming to another?
Well, we have,
and how do we resolve this? Because there are a lot of people who've worked very hard to get where they're at.
Yes,
and their resources.
And a lot of families do put their kids to school, and they do want good for them. And now we got another thing that's invaded our country. It's drugs. It's rotten with drugs. We got so much overdoses, people dying because I don't know, is it our government that's making the people weak? The more stuff you give like that, like drugs and alcohol or whatever, it weakens a culture. It doesn't make them strong. So we got our youth all on drugs. Not all of them, but there's a percentage of them, which is one for me is too many. So a lot of guys I know, and even in my own hometown, have died from drugs-related situations. And
let's take a quick look if I can here, Tony, and let's share with everybody. You've got a clip, a teaser about your upcoming film here. Is this a little intro we've got?
This is a little bit from my Ireland, but the new movie that's coming up and running is called Chucky and Loyola. Will be probably made this year before the Christmas. That's our plans anyway. If everything goes together, the funding and all that, and try to get together. I'm doing this so far. I've done it all out of my own pocket. I'm just doing this to bring light to Ireland, the situation we're in, because in Ireland at the moment, some people are in a bad situation, and I was sort of lucky. I made a home for myself here in America. And I got my own little bit of work and this and that, and I got some land over there. I got like a little bit of land and some horses in Ireland, and all of that stuff. That's a little bit about me. So I go back every year, twice a year if I can afford it. But I'm on about the people of Ireland and how we've been treated and how our government is treating us at the moment. And they do not like anything to do with America, our government, because they're afraid that the truth will come out. They do not like our president at the moment here because everything is on the Irish press, Irish media is negative about Mr. Trump. Everything is negative about him. And it's just sad to see that Ireland and America was always good allies and they were good friends, and Irish have done so well here. All our senators are Irish or ex-senators, and we've done they've achieved a lot here. But now Irish press and the media, it's telling the people over there, oh, this Trump is bad, Trump is this, Trump is that. To me, it's ridiculous because this is not the truth. The EU is running Ireland. It's got people coming into our country that should not be coming in. We take refugees. We help all the charities. We're good people. We give too much. But Ireland doesn't owe anybody. It doesn't owe anything to these EU countries. We don't know. We owe it to ourselves.
Yeah, well, back to then, because the EU itself, if you look at Europe, is effectively a miniature United States with regard, it's a lot older, but
Yes.
it's a number of separate states, separate countries. Like technically, the United States is united separate states of one we call America, right?
Yeah.
And so Missouri is different than Illinois, is different
Yes.
than California, is
Yeah.
different. But and then we've decided to unite. The EU is trying to do a similar thing, but are they doing it the wrong way? Are they not getting the results? Are there people that are taking advantage of the systems that has happened throughout humanity, throughout history?
Both. They're taking advantage of the situation.
And how is that going to be addressed? And that is what you're trying to do.
Well, I'm only on about Ireland at the moment. What are we going to do with all these people that's in our country? We don't have doctors. We don't have hospitals to accommodate them. We don't have houses for the people in Ireland at the moment. We've got 15,000 or 16,000 Irish homeless at the moment. That's a lot of people. And there's kids and families up in hotels. Plus, we can't take care of our own. So why invite they have 1 million people into Ireland. There's only 5 million in the country altogether, 5.5. 1 million people is a big
About
influx.
the size of Missouri in terms of population.
Exactly. And they're trying to feed these people and cater to them. What are they going to do when the money runs out?
Well, and that's why the famous quote from Margaret Thatcher is,
Yes.
socialism, I think she talked about.
Yeah.
Or
Spending somebody else's money. Yeah.
It's a wonderful idea until someone else's money runs out.
Exactly. And when the money runs out, what's going to happen to Ireland?
And back to then, but again, how do you, we've got to help people. I know them.
I blame all.
And that should be done in accordance with
I blame-
that is more about promoting
Yes.
all humanity, not
Yes.
teaching some
Now-
people that they don't need to contribute, or literally, and that's if they're trying to say, oh, we don't want to contribute, they've been put into a position where they're encouraged not to.
Yes.
And their incentives are set
You've
up
got
so
the
that they don't.
government. You've got the government and the banking system and the social system against the Irish people. The banking and the government is running Ireland. They tell us what to do. They tell them what to do. They tell them, well, you won't get this, you won't get that. It's so corrupt you wouldn't see it in a. I don't want to go say.
Well, if they understand, I'm a strong believer that ultimately when they sort things out, they will realize that their system will not continue, and they will not be in power by virtue of just the votes that will be necessary.
They don't.
And they're not because they're not doing what is best for the.
Well, they don't care then. They have their houses and they have their brown envelopes.
Again, that becomes
They have their brown envelope stocked and they've got a house probably bought
Note
in.
from the Cardinal Cowboy, guys, stop with that. You're going to ultimately bring your own demise
Yes.
with regard to your own happiness, fulfillment, and even success, or even maybe end up in a position where you're not in any kind of.
Yeah,
position
some of them
of
will
power.
probably have an escape plan. They don't intend to live in the country if they're
and I
going
would
to
like to
ruin it.
imagine that we're hopefully not quite at that level, but if you would like to sponsor Tony and his organization, Monaghan
Productions.
he does a lot of great work and has put up a number of great films together for that. Reach out to him. You go to monaghanproductions.com and get his email address and reach out to him.
Yeah, if it's only
This is a
$1,
big
if it's only $1 or whatever you can, I'd like to bring it to the Irish Americans, because most Irish Americans don't have a clue what's happening. They think it's like this little place you go to, like leprechauns and shamrocks and all that beautiful stuff. But it is a country we want to save. So I'm on about you. If you want to save your native land.
Well, I think we should try to save everybody.
Yes. Well,
let's do that. We're almost finishing up here, Tony.
Yes.
Get a hold of you. MonaghanProductions.com.
Thank you.
Everybody.
Thank you.